From the metal capital of the world, this is the Tampa Bay Spike, a local magazine, and today the Power 30 is going to be coming at you still from Florida. We are in Tampa at Morrisound recording. This is the mecca of metal world in this area. We're going to go in and check out and see what's happening. Well, Jim, you're the owner, one of the co-owners of Morrisound. You started it with your brother. Can you tell me how you started?
Well, my brother had a studio in Mississippi, and I was a musician and working at a music store here in Florida, and we decided to kind of pool our resources and try to open a studio. So we figured that Tampa which is where I was living, I already knew a lot of the people in the music industry. It felt like a good spot. We did kind of a really cheesy market survey to find out if this is a good location, and we both liked Florida, so we decided to stay right here and open one up. And we opened it up on a shoestring budget, and we've been building it now this is our 12th year, I think.
Jim, why do so many death metal bands come here and record at your studio?
Good question. I think it originally started because we kind of got in on the ground floor of the whole Florida heavy metal scene. We did the very first Sabotage album and the early Nasty Savage records, and that kind of started a groundswell in the area. And I think the biggest reason we got so involved in it was most places these guys would go to record, they didn't care about the recording studio, and the engineers didn't really care about that kind of music. They didn't like it, so they didn't do a good job of it. And we did a good job, or tried to do a good job, right from the gate. So it made us probably one of the only facilities in the world that was into it. That tried
welcoming the bands.
Yeah, and we welcomed quite a few of them at this point.
Can I say I'm really pissed about the World Series?
You talk?
Oh, are you? Come
No,
on.
I'm not. It's a joke. Yeah, it's humor. Because I'm an Atlanta Braves fan.
Yeah. Oh, wasn't that a great last game? Oh, man. It was great. Let me tell you something. I know.
God damn it!
It's a Braves fan.
No, the best part was James.
Go Blue Jays. Okay?
Yep.
Who's that?
It's Ralph.
Ralph?
That's Ralph Santola from Eyewitness. And he's here recording at Morrisound also. He has a commercial hard rock band. He loves Michael Schenker.
Well, this is a pretty... Are you jerking me around?
No.
Okay, we are at Morrisound Studios. This is Scott Burns, and Scott has just about produced every worthwhile death metal band around. Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you certainly have made a career out of producing death metal.
Well, I thank you very much.
So what is the appeal to you? What is it that makes you stick it out and keep doing it and, interferes with other projects too?
I don't know. I always like metal, and especially used to like a lot of punk stuff and just stuff that's extreme. And I don't know. I just like stuff that's I don't know, evil, rowdy.
You don't look too evil and rowdy.
I can be evil.
So Scott, who has recorded here? Some of the bands. Can you go through them?
Sure. Sabotage, Warrant, Sepultura, Morbid Angel, Death, Obituary, Deicide, Cannibal Corpse, Gorguts, Atheist, Demolition Hammer, Asssuck. Who else? There's a million.
Sounds like a list of a horror film. Of those bands, how many have you personally produced?
I've probably done like 30 different bands.
Most of the ones that you've listed that you've worked with?
Yes. Not Warrant, not Morbid Angel, and not Sabotage.
Okay, so when you're producing here, what happens? What goes on? Not so much with the technical buttons here that we were discussing before, but what goes on with the band? They play in there, you sit in here, and what do you do? What do you tell them to do?
I change everything, especially bass players. No.
Lots of bass players present here. Hey, there goes one. See ya.
No. What do we do? Usually at the studio out there, it's the amplifiers, or if they're singing, the vocals for isolation. And what do? I don't, we just try and capture good performances on tape and let them play their music.
Usually with a band like, say, Death, how many takes of each song will you do before you get the right mix that you need?
I don't know. It just depends on how well the band's playing and what's going on. I mean, sometimes it can be in one take. Other times it might be 250 takes. Just depends till you get the right take.
Do you put your image of what the band should sound like on the albums a lot? Like, do you have a lot of fights? Do things happen like that?
Oh, everyone has fights, but we're all metal brothers united, and we come through at the end. But no, I'm serious. I mean, we have disagreements, and we try and come through and, and get the best thing. But, I mean, Chuck definitely has his idea and the band members, and I don't try and change that. I just try and add things that may complement it and all. And like I said, it's not my album, it's theirs. But I just try and give good input, and when they tell me to shut up, I shut up.
Well, this Metal Brothers United, that's something very dear to your heart.
Because we are Metallic Brothers United, and that's why it's not just death metal. See, look at this, right here. This sums it all up. Now, this is part of the Metallic universe.
Well, what is it? Tell me.
This is the Metallic grapefruit from the abysmal fires of hell, grown from my tree in sunny Florida. And these are people that we worship. King Diamond, one of the greatest metalers around, Lemmy, Rob Halford, Gene Simmons, Tom Warrior.
And?
I don't know who these guys are, but they look funny. So anyway, so that's why we're Metal Brothers United for Metal.
Well, that's recording at Morrisound.
And to show how metal we are, Chuck is on the orb. The whole universe spins around Chuck from death.
Hey, there was one thing that we talked about when we were off camera that I really wanted you to repeat about the death metal scene.
Yeah.
And how, so right now there are like a million bands coming out that sound like other bands.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen?
No, I don't know. I mean, I think like any scene, there's a million. Now death metal's become really popular, and it's an inbreeding kind of thing. It's a lot of these new bands are young and they're trying, which is really cool, but they're copying bands that still exist, like Death, Morbid Angel, Obituary, etc. And because of that, the originality is lost. It's like if a band came out now that sounded like Metallica, why would you want to listen to them when Metallica still exists? And I think that's part of the problem now with death metal a little bit, is there's too many bands that sound the same. But like anything, like any type of movement, the good bands will stick around, and then a lot of the bad bands will just fade away. But I mean, it's cool that everyone is trying and that they're into it. I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean it becomes rather derivative after a while. You hear riffs stolen from other bands that still exist.
What makes a good death metal band?
What makes a good death metal band? Just extreme, and they have their own sound, and fast and angry, and something that your mom doesn't like.
And brutal?
And brutal. It's got to be brutal.
No.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm Teresa.
Nice to meet you. I'm Chuck.
Hi, Chuck. Very nice to meet you, finally.
This is Andy.
Hi, Andy.
Andy.
How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. He's hanging out with Chuck Shuldiner from Death, and look, Andy from King Diamond. This is a bit of a coincidence. I mean, you're from Sweden. What are you doing here?
Well, I'm actually recording a bit with the guys.
Which guys?
Death guys.
You are, huh? What project is this going to be?
It's still going to be Death, Chuck's band, But
So you're just like joining in.
yeah, actually, I was asked to do a couple of solos on it, So.
Great. Well, Chuck, I have to tell you that for all your reputation as being like the death metal guru, you're far too nice and too pleasant.
We're like pretty sure just to crush any misconceptions of death metalers being cruel to animals or anything. I'm an animal lover, and yeah, people will probably be surprised if they met a lot of bands, especially in this type of music, because everyone seems extreme and they put on this image, but. I'm definitely trying to break that.
Yeah.
We're people too.
What does the scene still do for you? What does the music still do for you? And where are you taking it, like with the new recording, for example?
Well, I like to think that we're taking it to a new level each record. I want to stay musical and put in my influences, which have to do with a lot of melodic bands, anything from Merciful Fate, King Diamond, to a lot of bands, Watchtower, Queensryche, a lot of old heavier stuff like Possessed. I mean, I'm trying to incorporate all my personal tastes, influences, and stuff, and let them come out. I'm not into holding back, trying to live up to a certain reputation of being the heaviest. I'm not out for that. I'm into a lot of different types of music,
What about what's happening with Merciful Fate?
Merciful Fate is recording in Dallas right now with the original lineup except for the drummer. I don't know the guy's name, but they have been in the studio for like 2 weeks, I think, and they'll be done in about 3 or 4 weeks. And I don't really know what's going to happen with it, but what I know is that this album is going to be released, and as soon as it's released, we're going to continue to start working on the King Diamond thing.
So it's just in the back burner for now.
Well, you never know, but all the music for King Diamond is already done. It's written, everything, and we'll probably go into the studio like this summer.
What's the name of the album going to be?
Spider's Lullaby.
Spider's Lullaby.
Yep.
And is it going to go in any new direction, or what do you think? Is this little, hiatus here at Morrisound influenced you in any way?
A bit, maybe, yeah. But since the songs are already done and all that, I don't think we're going to change that for the next album. So it will be basically the same like King Diamond style, but of course better songs.
Let me touch you, let me feel.
Chuck, a lot of people credit you with starting the death metal scene, the death metal genre. What do you think when they say that?
Well, it's definitely flattering, but I really can't consider myself to have started it. I think bands like Venom, in my opinion, Venom were the first to have the brutal vocal style, tuning low, their instruments, that initial really brutal aggression. But I think maybe I've kept it going, to what death metal is today, as far as, a lot of those old bands are no longer going like Venom. And I guess I picked up where they left off, and, I'm still in there, luckily. Yeah.
But you having, when you then got a band named Death,
Right.
then that sort of coined the term. That's probably another reason why. It's not just what you were doing, but the fact that you called it something.
Right, it's a pretty brutal name, definitely. At the time, I wanted something, extreme, something brutal, shocking, to go along with the music, and now I would probably call it something different, but it's kind of stuck with us, and, it's just a name, and I hope people really don't get a wrong impression that we're, like, anti-life, because,
They do, though. People do get that impression all the time, like not just parents, but other people that listen to heavy metal that won't listen to death metal.
Right.
They just think, oh, what's that stuff?
Yeah, it's a drag. Hopefully they'll read the lyrics and realize I'm saying something that maybe they can relate to, or something, I have a lot of songs that I think a lot of people can relate to.
Well, you've said that you don't want to be lumped in with the other sort of death metal bands. Why is that?
I'm not going to name anyone, but I think in all types of music, when something gets real big, it tends to get out of control. I think some bands are out of control with what they're doing. They just don't realize what they're doing. A lot of things are hurting this music. It's giving people an excuse to kind of say, wait, this is a bit extreme. We need to do something. I'm tired of that, the negative vibe,
It's funny having both of you here because you're both representing two places where death metal is really, really popular, and of course it makes sense why you're here together. But do you ever think why? Like, why Florida? Why Tampa? Why Sweden?
This is probably the heavy metal capital of the United States now, I would say.
Yeah,
kind of.
It's bizarre. I cannot back that up with a proper answer. I think, I don't know, maybe it's the oranges, or I don't know, the mosquitoes or something. I don't know.
maybe the heavy metalers aren't that heavy after all. I mean, they're coming down here for the sunshine, I guess.
That's right. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Maybe they played in Sweden to keep warm.
Well, that's what we're thinking. Okay, cold countries, Canada, Sweden, you know, same type of climate. It's like you hang out a lot indoors. You hang out in your basement a lot. You know, people play a lot of guitar. But Florida, why aren't you on the beach?
I don't know. I wish we were. Definitely.
Okay, let's check out Death on the Power 30. This is Lack of Comprehension. Brutal.
Metal.
Vincent, how you doing, David?
Hi, how are you?
So you're here recording your new album, which has just been in progress for 2 days.
Actually, yes, we just got started, and we actually prefer to work at night, as you can see. Looking forward to it. It's going to be quite a record, I think.
How is it going to be different from Blessed Are the Sick?
Well, it's going to be different in a lot of ways. We're trying some new techniques now, working with some different people, and I think the record's going to speak for itself when it comes out.
Now, in the past, a lot of your lyrics have dealt with the occult, and some people have even pegged you for Satanist. Is that going to be apparent at all in the new album, or what do you have to say about that?
Well, my lyrics have always come from me, and I haven't changed any, so you can read into that whatever you want.
Well, what are you into right now that has changed in the last couple of years? Anything different?
Well, it's gotten more severe, if anything else. I don't think that there's no different path. It's just further on in the pollution stage, I think.
Well, there's been a lot of new bands in the last few years that have come out after death metal has become better known, and a lot of them people call imitators. What do you think about that?
Well, I've never really concerned myself with what a lot of the other bands have done. We're more concerned with what we do, and when you go through life with blinders on, sometimes it keeps you away from things that really are insignificant anyway.
Well, you guys seem very intense in there. Is there a lot of pressure? I mean, you're working with a great producer, Fleming, who's worked with Metallica as well, Master of Puppets, Justice for All.
Well, Fleming is certainly wonderful to work with, and we do put a lot of pressure on ourselves to exceed some of the things we've done in the past, as well as to get ourselves in the type of mood that we need to deliver the kind of performance that we want to. So it is very tense, and it's something that we need to really just put our noses to the grindstone and get in there and really turn out some brutal stuff.